Hello, Andre. Hello, Marcus.
Hi, Timo.
I am visiting you right now here in Blantyre in Malawi, and I have noticed that a lot of things here are still destroyed by this Cyclone Freddy that moved over the country in mid-March. So I just wanted to know, how was it for you? How did you experience it, and what exactly happened?
Yeah, thank you, Timo, for that question. First of all, a cyclone is a very strong tropical storm. It's like a hurricane that had a very long path through the ocean until arriving at the African coast in Mozambique. And it brought really strong winds up to 200 kilometers per hour before arriving in the southern part of Malawi, where it mainly brought large quantities of water, like 500 millimeters. You can imagine this is the quantity of precipitation of 1 year of a country like Germany. In many parts, Germany, we only receive that amount. And this amount fell in only 5 days and caused many landslides, floods, and of course those quantities of water damaged a lot of houses. The death toll is more than 1,000 people. There are almost 600,000 displaced people. Yeah, and for us it was quite a shocking situation. We did not really know how to react.
Yes, we experienced a little bit the hurricanes in Nicaragua, but this cyclone was completely different for us because it was 5 days of continually raining. So it was we couldn't go out, of course, and the wind was very, very, very strong. We felt unsafe. We felt also a bit nervous because we knew, even though we have a strong house comparing to others, we still have leakages and so on, but that was nothing comparing to others. And even though we were a bit scared because even the trees could fall down in this situation, and they were moving a lot. So for us was a new experience, a very, very touching experience also, because even though we were experiencing like that, we knew that outside so many people were losing everything, and they were losing even their lives. And it's an experience that it hasn't ended, because the consequences are still being seen here in Blantyre.
Do you have any statistics on the damage caused? And I also want to know if there are any diseases that are now spreading more.
Yeah, about the statistics, I already mentioned there were more than 1,000 dead people caused, and also people who were missed now were also declared dead because many of them are still under the soil, under the landslide. I was just there yesterday on this Sochi mountain here in Blantyre, where there was a huge landslide burying a lot of houses and destroying households and families. So yeah, it was overwhelming to see that. Yeah. And about the diseases, cholera was a problem before the cyclone arrived, and with these floods, this disease can even spread more. And also other diseases like malaria, transmitted by mosquitoes, they like flooded water that stand a long time. So yeah, there is a huge problem, and even even it can lead to a food crisis, because the high food prices are even even intensified with destroyed harvests on the field. Many people lost their maize crops on the field because the wind, they just broke and destroyed these yields. And yeah, Malawi is a very vulnerable country when we talk about food security. So these problems are still on the rise this year.
Yes, as Marcus mentioned, these 1,200 people have died because of the cyclone, and 600,000 people don't have a home now. So they are living in schools or in camps, and these schools are being used by them, so the children cannot go to school. Some schools have been already repaired, or children are going there, but a lot of schools are still being camps for these people. And I have heard already that these people have been told to go out of the school so that the children can come back to school, but they don't have any other place to go, so they are going to the relatives or to the neighbors, or we don't know how are they managing. A friend tell us a story about his neighbors. They lost his child, 8-year-old boy, so they went to the hospital during this time, 5 days raining without interruption. So there was a lot of chaos everywhere, especially in the hospital. So they went there for looking after his child, and they found him. He was already dead. So they went home for picking up some clothes for him, for preparing the funeral. And in the meanwhile, while they are going there to pick up the clothes, it comes another family to the hospital for picking up, for looking also after their child. And they also think this child is their child. So they take the body with them. Then the first family who was at the hospital comes back and didn't find anything. So this is only one story of a lot of stories that have been told to us, and that a lot of stories that still are happening here, because the suffering of the people is big. And I'm telling you this only for humanizing this 1,200 people number of deaths in Malawi, so that we understand, as Marcus also told you, to walk around this new soil, and knowing that there are still people buried there. The situation is extreme here, but nevertheless people are trying to go further, look up, and continue life.
Finally, I would like to ask you if there is any help from the government. How does the government intervene? Is there any reconstruction aid? And you also mentioned that certain areas should not be settled in the future. Are there resettlement projects?
Yeah, the government, of course, tries to help and does some emergency relief with the help and the support of the international community. So there are initiatives happening to ease the lives of the people, and they also talk about relocalization of whole areas, like especially the southern part of Malawi in Sanje is we call it also the Lower Shide. There we have big rivers and all the water is flowing down there, and people like to live near water, so they experience floods quite often or quite regularly, but this extent has never been seen as this year with Cyclone Freddy. And it becomes obvious that we have to do something. So we talk about relocalization, but of course it's a lot of funds that are necessary to do that, and different approaches, different ideas how to make this area habitable again. So yeah, relocalization is one of the topics that we are discussing. here in Malawi.
And it's very difficult because people don't want to move from their place. It's not like they have been there 5 or 10 years. And these are villages who are traditional, who have been traditionally been there like from ancient times. So and cyclones like these, like storms like these, have always been there, but not in this measurement. So. This is also a consequence or an obvious consequence of climate change, and we have to take responsibility on it also, no? Like especially the northern countries, the industrialized countries and economies. We have to start talking, or to take climate justice more into consideration and do something for it. And yes, I think the government tries to do its best. There is a lot of people in need now, so they cannot manage everything. The NGOs, of course, are also supporting what they can, but donations have come to Malawi a lot, especially at the beginning. But now starts the time that everything goes back to normal again, so the donations are not seen anymore. And the people have to care for themselves alone. So we know from 2 initiatives which were born in the village, in this case itself, so that we think that's very important that the people organize themselves so that there is an impact at the end. And we know from 2 initiatives. One is at one school who has been almost completely damaged, and where the children cannot go to school because it's very dangerous. And so that they don't lose this year of school, they are at least going for a writing examination. So the children write the examinations under the tree on the floor. That's the situation now. And the other initiative is in one village near Mulanje. And we have thought, let's organize something, let's get some donations, make a crowdfund campaign for assuring food for these people, at least for 30 families, because the next crisis which is coming is the hunger crisis, because the cyclone, of course, also damaged a lot of what people have planted, and the harvest has been very low compared to other years because of the cyclone. So I hope you can check on the campaign and support us, support these people who really don't count on the government or anyone, only themselves.
Yeah, so thank you for these insights into this sad story, but it's nice that there are also people who want to make a difference here on site and want to make a lasting change.
Thank you, dear Timo.